Tower Defense X's Nightmare trailer is officially out. John Roblox randomly decided to drop it a bit early today, and we got a good look at what is coming in the all-new Nightmare mode, which is going to be the biggest update in the entire game yet. Hello everybody, my name is Vendetta, and today we're going to be talking about how the Nightmare trailer randomly released a little bit early, and also all the random little details here and there in it, and how I think this update has a lot more lore, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to go over some random little bits in the trailer and just, investigate some little bits and pieces here and there, but I'm also going to go over some things like the thoughts that I have on this, and personally what I think of the lore and some of the quotes from the trailer, and also some other just smaller details that you may have missed. Before we jump in, if you do enjoy this video, please consider hitting that like button, and also consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before Nightmare releases, so I would really appreciate if you did help me out in getting there. Also, leave a comment down below. I do check the comments daily, so let me know what you think about this, let me know what you think about Nightmare, and if you're just as excited as I am. But without much time to waste, we've got a lot to get through, so without wasting any more random time, let's get right in. So, for the opening shot we have here, the first moment that we see of the Nightmare trailer. It's a black screen, but we can hear Dr. Xenon say this.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
Now, this probably has some very deep meaning, and I'm going to jump into the two things that this possibly means. So the first part of this is if you have headphones on and you listen very closely, it almost sounds like there's a second voice talking with Xenon there. It's very difficult to hear, but it sounds like a more demonic and more rogue voice that's just kind of there talking with Xenon. I might be completely bonkers, I might be the only one hearing this, but I swear I hear it, and it sounds like one of two things. Either it's like the Emperor talking with her, but I don't think it's that, or option number two, it's her just kind of losing her mind to the point of insanity. Maybe she's just very angry. Maybe she's just becoming corrupted by her own anger. I don't even know, but she sounds really angry in this trailer. And option number two, I want to jump on to a little bit later in this video when we come by some other things that we see in the trailer as well. The next shot we see is the dropship that Xenon has with a bunch of the bosses we're familiar with. We see this shot here with Eradicator Mark II Plus and Eradicator Combat. There's also this shot here with both Destructor and Artemis together. And with this ship full of bosses, I wouldn't be surprised if Xenon is going to drop bosses mid-game from modes we're already familiar with. She's going to drop in a Mark II Plus, she's going to drop in a Destructor, going to drop in a Combat, just here and there, and those are going to be the mid-bosses. However, Nightmare will still pertain and have its own unique mid-bosses like Alpha Predator. Here with this shot of the War Machine is very much taking up the center of the stage here, but if you look behind it on the top of this base, you can see this gun is actually firing, and you'll notice on a lot of the maps shown at the start of the trailer, there is actually some kind of turret. So I have a feeling that on the Nightmare maps, there will actually be a cannon that will help you out during some of the later waves, similar to Halloween Part 4. Here in this shot where the Emperor walks in, we can see the commander here. Nothing crazy, but I think it's worth noting that the commander is used in this trailer, so maybe he'll come back soon. I don't know. It was already talked about that commander would be made available at some point. We just don't know when that is, so who knows, maybe they'll surprise us with making commander available in this update. And yes, I do know Zed is here as well, so maybe they'll do that eventually for Zed. This shot here, the Emperor can stop time. Yes, that's what that is. The Emperor is freezing time. This has been confirmed by one of the people in the TDX Discord, where they said that the Emperor can stop time, and that's what that ability is. So yeah, I'm already afraid for this boss fight, but this guy can freeze time? Yeah, we're cooked, bro. Not to mention, there's also a warship in the back of that shot, which means warship is supported on at least one of the maps that's coming. I'm happy with this, as, warship feels kind of useless and doesn't really have much place in expert or elite, so I would like to have some warship gameplay be viable in Nightmare mode. Here in this shot here with Eradicator Combat, we have this tank here with a big pink X on it. This kind of ties into what I was talking about earlier with the whole Xenon thing at the start of the trailer, but once again, we will get there. Nothing crazy, but in a few of these shots, it looks like some of these maps are multi-lane or maybe just like cross lanes where like the lane like, you know, loops back over itself. So these maps will definitely be more unique than the ones we've already got so far. We see a very demonic clip of somebody here and very red lighting. I've heard people say that this is Dr. Mallory. I don't really know. I think this is Dr. Mallory. There's been talk, and I think it's actually confirmed, that Dr. Xenon did something really bad to Mallory, so I think Mallory is really angry at Xenon, hence why she's very demonic looking. I think she is actually Dr. Mallory here. I think she looks really cool, but this is definitely just some kind of like little teaser for like the Halloween update or whenever she does come around. And for the last part of the trailer, Alpha Predator can just, you know, throw nukes, so that's pretty cool, I guess. But now, with the trailer over, let's talk about my personal thoughts and what I think about Nightmare Mode as a whole. So just some little bits and pieces here to start. The first one is this mode will have an insanely high economy. I can almost guarantee this mode will have probably the best economy we've ever seen. Better than Expert, better than Endless, better than all the events. This mode's going to have crazy money. We're going to have just a lot of money, a lot of room to put good towers down. Of course, this is more like later game rather than like earlier game. I'm sure early game will be a bit lower eco, but, you know, big enough to place like a few more towers than regular modes. Second, this mode is going to be extremely chaotic, as seen by all the shots of the battlefield in this trailer. This game mode is just going to be all over the place. There's going to be enemies everywhere, towers everywhere, death happening left, right, and center. It also looks like there's some enemies from other modes, probably some from Elite and Expert as well. And I mean, considering we've seen combat in the trailer, I wouldn't be surprised if more Endless enemies get added to this game mode as well. The game mode looks like it's going to be very hard, not impossibly difficult, but difficult enough that it feels rewarding to win. Of course, with players using the Nightmare Towers, this would make the mode a little bit easier, just, you know, nothing too crazy. It wouldn't make the mode, you know, just super easy, but it wouldn't, you know, be like useless. The Nightmare Towers would just be like a necessity to bring if you don't want to have a hard time. But don't worry, it would still be doable if you don't have any of them. The mode will be very, very long, considering we've had Expert be 42 waves. I think this mode is going to last around 50 to 60 waves. Looping a bit back to what I said about Xenon and what I said about the previous bosses being dropped in earlier, this is my personal take, and it's also been confirmed now that I actually have wrote it down. I actually did a little bit of digging and found that my theory was right, so this proves my point even more. And my point is that this is Xenon's final push. This is her big attack. This is everything she's got, throwing it all at us. And the reason this is because she is tired. She needs us gone because there is some bigger threat around the corner. So she is in a fit of rage, just throwing everything she has at us. Previous bosses like Combat, Eradicator Mark II+, we got Destructor, we've got Artemis. She's going to throw everything. Hence why I think this mode's going to be super high economy. You know, Advisor's going to see this and be like, Commander, we need some towers down fast. And he's also going to be like, yeah, we've given you lots of money to work with, Commander. Just help us take down this threat. And by the way, here's the screenshot, you know, supporting my theory here about this being Xenon's final push. This is on the official Roblox event on the TDX page if you want to go there and just check it for yourself. Now, here is an interesting one, looping back to what I said finally about Xenon saying, fine, I'll do it myself. And with the X tank and the X pod that we see in the trailer, I think, and this is just my opinion, I have no proof to back this up that this will happen, but I think they want to keep this a secret for a surprise when the mode actually does come out. We are all led to believe that the Emperor is the big final boss of this game, and it's going to be the big ending of Nightmare. Well, I don't think so. I think that that is the plan. That's what Xenon wants. Xenon has made this giant Emperor to be, you know, the most ultimate weapon she has. But when it finally does fail in Nightmare Mode, when we take it down, she is going to lose her mind. Imagine this, for instance. The Emperor walks out, it's this big final battle, and Xenon's laughing to herself in her chair as she watches from a distance. The fight rages on and many towers fall, but in the end, the Emperor does not make it to the end. And in a complete fit of rage, a cutscene plays where Xenon just starts smashing things. She's furious, absolutely incredibly angry. Then the game continues. You get a sum of like 1 million, maybe 2 million cash per player. You have to place your towers down quick because here comes Xenon. That's right, I don't think the Emperor is the final boss. Xenon's the final boss. After we defeat the Emperor, she's going to be so furious that she will say, fine, I'll do it myself. Get in her own mech or tank or whatever it is. That's something that's bigger than the Emperor himself. And come fight us herself. For the first time, we will actually see Dr. Xenon be a part of the actual gameplay in TDX. And in the end, when we do inevitably defeat Dr. Xenon, because the game mode has to be possible, when we do inevitably defeat her, her mech or tank or whatever is on fire in this big cutscene and it's collapsing, pieces falling around everywhere. Then we can see her slowly crawling out, just barely making out of there alive. And before any of us can get our hands on her, she scurries away and hides. But that might be the last we hear of Xenon for a long time. I think after this, she's going to focus on trying to defend herself from the coming Mallory. Anyways, let me know what you think about that down in the comments. I actually had a lot of fun coming up with that, and I think the ending being not the Emperor, but a jump scare of, fighting Xenon instead. I really love that trope in games when it makes you think the boss is one character and then they just push the character out of the way and it's a different one. So very good. I so love to see that. So I would love to see that happen here, where it's just the Emperor, you were useless. Let me do it myself. I will come destroy the GTA by my hand. But yeah, with that theory out of the way, this mode will definitely and easily be the most fun thing to come to the game. This is going to be an absolute blast. If you're not already level 100 and you are excited for this update, I highly recommend you grind yourself up to level 100. Get those towers, get helicopter, get golden juggernaut, get, combat drone. Get the good towers because we are going to need them. You are going to need them for this firepower, the high eco. You will almost certainly need them to take down the Emperor. And yeah, this is definitely going to be the most fun thing in TDX. So let me know what you think down below. This might be a bit of a shorter video, but I had a lot of fun talking about it. Let me know what you think. I'm very, very excited for Nightmare. Tell me what you think about Nightmare. I'm going crazy for this mode, dude. Sorry if that theory seemed kind of random, but I did have a lot of fun creating it, and I do think it would be very cool to see something like that happen in the end of Nightmare. But I think I've kept you all long enough. Thank you all so much for watching my video today. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button, as I am trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before Nightmare comes out. Drop a comment, as I do read those daily, and I will see you all next time on the TDX channel. Bye-bye!